On this show, we address controversial breaking news topics that affect our culture. We take a closer look at the issues and break them down to simple conversation. We discuss solutions on how we can create a change moving forward. I am Smart Gordon, and this is A Black Man's Perspective. Welcome to another episode of A Black Man's Perspective. On this episode, we have to discuss this Ayesha Curry situation. We have an update in Nipsey Hussle case, and we have to talk to you about some great community activism done here in Atlanta. So let's get right into it. This week, social media was on fire thanks to Miss Ayesha Curry. Now, from a black man's perspective, I don't want these women jumping down my throat, so I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. But I do think that her comments led to a great conversation about insecurities and validation. And I do think that both of these topics are something we need to really address. And I'm not saying she was wrong for saying what she said. I'm not making it about Steph Curry, but I'm making it about us as people and needing validation and seeking validation from other people. I think that that's one of the key components that messes us up dealing with this social media era. I think there's a lack of self-confidence and self-esteem because we're looking for validation through other people and we don't have that love within ourselves. So I think that we have to get back to loving ourselves and not caring about what other people think of us, not caring about their opinion about us or how they feel about us, but get back to really focusing on what we like about ourselves and addressing our insecurities. And how do we do that? You address your insecurities by addressing your flaws, knowing that you're not perfect. None of us are. But we all have to feel like God didn't make any mistake with us at all. So we do have to understand that we all have flaws, we do have issues, but we have to address those issues head on. And if we don't, then that leaves room for us to be judged or critiqued by other people. But if you know those things and you accept those things about yourself first and foremost, then those things can't be used against you. Then you already know what the problem is. You already addressed those things, so you feel strongly about it. You try to turn your strength into your weaknesses is what I would say. So I think a lot of people, we had a great conversation about it going back and forth, and people pointed out this about Steph and this about Ayesha, and I think they put their relationship on a pedestal. And I mean, it kind of made Steph look a little bad, like he wasn't giving his wife enough compliments. I don't know. Or she might have wanted compliments from other guys. It was an interesting conversation. But what I didn't like about the conversation was that people were trying to validate it by using some more bullshit. So you can't justify bullshit with some more bullshit. What I mean by that is people are saying, well, guys do that all the time when they go out here and they try to see if they still got it. That's an insecure man. I'm not saying that's okay either. I'm not speaking up for that. I'm saying if we are insecure, we have to address our issues as individuals before we even move into a relationship. So I think we have to address that before we move forward. You have to be able to say, these are my issues, these are my flaws, and deal with those things before you go looking for a mate. Because if you need that mate to make you happy, then you're still not happy if your person isn't making you happy. So let's make sure we find self-love within ourselves first, and make sure we have that as a topic of conversation. So I would actually want to have a conversation. I might even invite a guest on next week just to get a female's perspective on how they feel about insecurities in relationships, and not just relationships, but within themselves, and how we address our insecurities moving forward. Now, I don't think that the Ayesha Curry situation should have gotten as much publicity as it did, but I do think that it did spark a lot of conversation that are needed within our community. But our next topic, I want this topic to stay in the forefront of our news articles and our newsrooms, everywhere on social media. It is the passing of Nipsey Hussle and the update with his trial and case. The attorney for his killer, Chris Darden, who was formerly known as a prosecutor against O.J. Simpson, recently quit his job as the defense attorney for the killer, which had a lot of people speculating is, where did this killer get this kind of money to have this guy as his defense attorney to begin with? So the conspiracy theories were running wild. I'm not going to get into that, but I hate that we have such a short-term attention span. It hasn't even been 2 full months, and we're slowly starting to die down on the conversations and looking into the case, because I haven't even heard too much about the case. I haven't heard anything about the investigation. I haven't even seen a mugshot yet. So I want us to stay focused because Nipsey is somebody that I looked up to that is very legendary, and I hope his legacy lives on forever, and I'm going to do my best part to keep this marathon going. But I want us to stop being such a microwave generation and just jumping from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic. To hold on to this topic, hold on to this investigation, and let's see it all the way through to the end, because that's how they get us a lot of times. It takes a long time for the process to take place. I mean, this trial hasn't even started yet, and we're really not talking about it as much. So it is good news for us that the attorney did leave amongst the death threats, because folks ain't playing out here about Nipsey, bro. Like, for real, they really going to war about that shit. So I guess it finally got to him, and he was kind of hurt on social media saying he ain't forgiving nobody. Well, nobody was forgiving you for trying to defend it. You can't take every case. And as much as Nipsey meant to the community and his neighborhood and into Los Angeles, I'm surprised somebody really didn't hurt that man. But I really just hope that we can stay focused and keep the information flowing and share information about the case, because I really want us to stay locked in and see this all the way through to the end. Speaking of the music industry and Nipsey Hussle's legacy, there's been some crazy news that we've been hearing out of Miami this week. Have you guys been paying attention to the Rolling Loud Festival? I mean, every day, every hour, something happens. I think they said Young Thug was shot at 2 days ago. So NBA YoungBoy got shot at a day ago. They said Lil Wayne got searched by security, so he ended up not going on. They said Key Glock got arrested with some guns yesterday. I don't understand the energy around that festival, you know. It doesn't look like something that positive is coming from that at all. There's just a lot of young rappers down there, and you would think it's supposed to be a positive thing for the community, something that we can all enjoy, but nothing positive is coming out of that situation right now. So I think that's something we got to stay focused. And I remember all the unity that did come together for Nipsey Hussle's passing. I want to keep that energy going. I want to figure out how we can keep his legacy moving forward and keep bringing people together, not have all this turmoil and all this negativity. Oh yeah, Kodak Black was arrested as well. So it's just a lot of shootings and a lot of arrests going on this weekend in Miami. And shit, I would stay clear of that motherfucker, for real. Like, I wouldn't even want to be down there at this point. But it just was something that was brought to my attention. Really, you couldn't even avoid it. Every day it was a breaking news. So here we got to discuss a breaking news topic. So Rolling Loud is just something I'm just concerned about, honestly, for our community. Like, what the fuck is going on? We got to do better. You know, we got to hold ourselves accountable and have a better measure of success and standards for each other. So hopefully, you know, people get through this weekend and no major charges are filed. They say an innocent bystander got killed, and I don't know who they're going to charge with that murder, but somebody got to be held accountable for that. So, you know, just the foolishness that's going on between the rappers, and a lot of shit don't even be worth it, man. That'd be my thing. Like, if you're making 10, 15, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 a show, what the fuck is you beefing about, man? Like, who are you trying to prove yourself to? Who you got to be so tough around? Like, why do you feel the need to go and do dumb shit and risk your life and risk the means of income, the situation you can provide for your family? Because once you gone, you had the one ticket out. You were the 1 million that we had a chance with in that family. Now you gone. So I think we just got to be a little more responsible, man, and just understand the circumstances and realize a lot of shit ain't worth it. A lot of pride and ego goes into that shit, and it's really not worth it. And it really hurting us in the long run. So I just hope, you know, that we can get back focused and get back to that level of unity we had the whole month of April, you know, when the Nipsey Hussle situation first happened, when everything was just calm, everybody was coming together, all type of gang truces were happening. And now it's just like we're starting to get back into that recklessness that we were seeing going on in our industry. So I hope that we can get back focused and get back to understanding and really relating to one another, to where we can get back to having good positive festivals, because what's going down there right now, that's a bunch of bullshit. I would stay clear of that if I was you. I would cancel my shit, for real. It's like they got police set up just to arrest niggas right now. So it's real crazy down there. But I hope everybody makes it out of there safe. Hope everybody can enjoy their time as fans. And, you know, from our perspective, we just like, as young black men, we like, man, we gotta do better. And we gotta hold ourselves accountable. Now, what would a black man's perspective be without some fuck ups in our judicial system? We have a case of police brutality that took place here in Atlanta. But I don't even want to talk about the negative too much. I want to talk about the great work done by community activists. I work hand in hand with a lot of community activists, and we out here trying to create a change. So much that we started calling ourselves the change creators. But we're going to talk about the case of Miss Maggie Thomas. Miss Maggie was sitting in her car with a 4-year-old, her daughter, when a police officer approached her and said that her vehicle matched the description of a suspect. He runs the information, nothing comes up, the car isn't insured, but she's not driving, so he can't really do anything about it. So then he leaves. I guess he runs her name again, and he comes back a couple minutes later and states that she has a warrant for a speeding ticket for failure to appear. Miss Maggie is upset about it. She feels agitated, she feels irritated. She does not feel like she has a warrant, and so a conflict ensues. It gets really out of hand. Mind you, the 4-year-old is sitting there in the car with her mom. The officer shows no mercy. He does not care. And he goes on to tase Miss Maggie 3 or 4 times. It ensues to where he punches her in the face. He claims he was bit. They say that in the police report, or later in the investigative report, that there was no bite mark on him. But there was a video of this that was submitted to my mentor, Mr. Gerald Griggs, and who is one of the bigger attorneys here and takes on a lot of these police brutality cases. So he gets the video, and we're trying to figure out how do we get this out to the masses. And we took our time, we worked it, pushed it out there. We got it all to all the news outlets, and it's really, really going viral. So I want to commend the work of the change creators, because we took our time with this case, and now a lot of Atlanta is picking up on this case. But to go back to the issue, what Mr. Griggs happened to find out as an attorney was that there was not an active warrant. So all of this could have been simply avoided. And now we have a case where we're going to talk with the police chief later on this week, and we're going to see about getting this officer fired because he took advantage of his responsibilities as an officer. He went too far, and he tased this woman 3 times. He punched her in the face in front of her 4-year-old daughter. And luckily somebody came outside and got it on camera, because at that point it gets to a he said, she said type of situation, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna always side with the police officer. When the great thing about these cameras being around these days is we don't have that gray area, we don't have that denial, we have the true look at what really took place. And that's why I'm hoping that sooner or later we get to a point where they cannot turn off these body cameras at all. I do believe every officer that have a body camera, because it does provide transparency. But I don't understand why they give them body cameras that they can cut off when the fuck they want to. If I'm about to do some shit, I'm not gonna tell on myself. That don't make no sense. But luckily, Miss Maggie Thomas had a situation where civilian came outside and happened to see it and started recording, and luckily backup came and broke up the altercation, because we don't know how bad it could have got. But I think this is going to be one of those situations where we can see something moving forward, where we can understand, like, we have to speak up, we have to speak out, we have to notify our community activists, because we are here, and we are here to create a change. We are here to hold people accountable. We want to show them how it's done correctly and make sure that justice is served on both parts of this situation, because unfortunately this just should not have taken place. So from a black man's perspective, we are going to always stay on top of our judicial system and hold everybody accountable. Fuck the bullshit. Everybody got to be held accountable. That's my biggest thing. Accountability. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you're right, we got your back. So in closing, a black man's perspective would like to send a special shout out to all the mothers out there that just celebrated Mother's Day. And we do understand your significance in our community, and we do understand that your contribution to our community is never, never underestimated, and we're never ungrateful for you, because you do so much for us. We do feel like you should be celebrated, you should be congratulated all the time. So even though it's not Mother's Day, it was just celebrated a few days ago, we still want to say Happy Mother's Day to you, and your effort, your time, your patience, your love, your support, your comfort, all of the above is greatly appreciated. And we love you, we truly honor you, respect you, and we want to say Happy Mother's Day to you. But for you woke people, every time a holiday comes up, can y'all not be the negative people? Why every time we celebrate something, y'all can't let people just have a good time? Like, y'all always gotta bring some. Well, y'all shouldn't celebrate your mothers because the white man said you should celebrate your mother. Just let people enjoy their day. Just, a lot of times when people don't fuck with y'all because you're always negative. You don't know how to deliver your message. You have a good point. I'm not saying your point's invalid, but your delivery is wrong. Your delivery is annoying. Just work on that, please. Bring some unity to our community. If that's what you want to do as a woke and conscious person, please learn to work on your delivery. Work on bringing people together. Because nobody want to hear that bullshit when they trying to enjoy time with their family. So we've made it through episode 3 of A Black Man's Perspective. I want to say thank you to everyone that tuned into episode 1 and episode 2. And a special shout out to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. If this is your first time watching, I want you to take your time to subscribe to Smart TV and like, comment, subscribe, share A Black Man's Perspective as much as you can. And we are getting some great feedback. I do have a surprise for you guys on our next episode. So I hope you're enjoying, I hope you're listening, I hope you're learning, I hope we're educating, and I hope you're just understanding A Black Man's Perspective. I am Smart Gordon, and this has been another episode of A Black Man's Perspective.